Oh man, what's up y'all? Got all this baggage. This is gonna be a great video. Let me tell you something about this trash bag right here that most people would think to throw away. But today, I'm gonna change your perspective. I don't see just a trash bag when I'm looking at this. You know what I see? I see potential, I see a story, and I see you. I am Dr. Mirakal Jackson. Welcome back to Go and Grow. Let's jump into the episode. So here's the truth. Sometimes life gives us things that we just want to throw out. And honestly, this black bag, it's holding something powerful. It's holding part of your purpose. And today, I want to tell you exactly what that means. So many people go through life and they try and throw out the things in life that they don't want. Heartbreak, failure, self-doubt, grief, just different challenges where people, they're like, man, I just want to throw this experience out. But see, that's not how life works. This is one of those things where if you throw it away, you're not accounting for all of the powerful things within that challenge or that setback that you overcame. Or you could do the thing that most people won't do. In fact, some people spend their entire lives trying to avoid this bag. But the fact of the matter is that this bag is holding your story. And if you throw it out, even with as much pain that might be attached to that baggage, or that bag where you're just putting all of those different emotions in that you're just not ready to deal with. See, today I want to teach you how to dive into your purpose. I want to teach you how to embrace your story. This is your story. Your story doesn't belong in the trash. You need to take that thing out. So last year, I lost somebody that I considered a parent. And look, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie to you, right? I was a bit discouraged. So let's get back to the trash bag, right? So when I saw her die, I tried to bag up that moment, that trauma, that grief, that pain, that heartbreak, that aching feeling, that lump in my throat, that all the memories and everything. I just tried to put it in a bag and I thought that I would never have to go through it again. See, but the thing about grief is I understand that's not gonna be the only person that I'm gonna lose in my life throughout my lifespan. I just happened to experience the worst kind of grief early on to prepare me for what comes after. So here's the thing, right? I was trying to bag up all of the challenges and the different things in my life that I was not ready to go through yet, right? I wanted to keep it in a bag, but look, this is the thing. When you don't go through the trash bag, everything that you put inside of it is still gonna be there. So really, you think that you're not acknowledging those different challenges, but they're still acknowledging you. Look, so this bag has a bunch of stuff in it. If I never go through it, what's the stuff gonna do? It's gonna stay in the bag. How hard it is to carry around just all this stuff. There's a story in here. And the story is more powerful when you understand that it's your story. So I understand that my story is right here in this bag. I have just been slowly just going through the bag. But I had to get there. Meaning I had to struggle as I was in denial with the things that I was holding on to. And see, we got baggage from different levels and areas in our life as we've gone through life that we've been holding on to, that we claim that we've let go. Oh, no, I don't want to deal with that. You as a person, you watching this right now, you have a powerful story, but how can you acknowledge that story if you won't even acknowledge the experiences that built that story that ended up building you into the person that you are today? Look, the reality is that you are more than the garbage that life tried to throw at you. It's not about the garbage bag. It's about what you do with it. See, this bag is a representation that I overcame something in my life. Just like any baggage that you might be holding on to is literally a representation that you went through something in life and that you came back stronger. But did you understand the lesson? Reality is it's not about the things that you go through. It's about what you do with that story, what you do with that testimony to help uplift somebody else. Oftentimes, we use the things that we've been through in life to excuse the selves that we become. And it's easy to say, oh, you know what? I went through that, so that's why I'm like this now. I went through that, that's why I'm like this now. Or, oh, that old memory, right? I'm not, whatever happens. I already been through it. No need to go through it again. But the beautiful thing about experiences in life is that every single experience teaches us something. And why we experience that. And there are a lot of things I've experienced in my life that I didn't realize was meant for me to share. And there are some people they're just not built to share the different things that's part of my story. See, all that baggage that I've been holding on to and wondering, why did I have to go through all of this? Why? And we can ask why, we can have a shoulda mindset, but the reality is it's not going to change our reality. The only thing that's going to change our reality is what we do with the story, what we do with the baggage, what we do with our different experiences in life. Let's jump into this a bit further. So this right here, this is proof that I did not quit. This is proof that you did not quit. Whatever this looks like for you, whatever is speaking to you in this moment as you're watching this video, embrace that moment, embrace that memory, embrace that baggage, embrace that experience, embrace that challenge. Because see, it's only proof that it made you stronger. It's literally only proof that it made you stronger. Let today be the day that you begin to go through those different moments in life. And look, I'm not telling you to just dive into things that you've been suppressing. It's ultimately up to you. Make sure that you have the support and the resources that you need to get you through those different things, because I'm not trying to have y'all re-traumatize yourselves or anything. Or you may not even have experienced any trauma at all. If you haven't, you're great. But look, listen, if you have, you're still great, right? You are worth every single thing that, you're worth it. There's no memory, there's no trauma, there's no challenge, there's no setback that defines you as a person. It's only one piece of you. So you are still amazing, regardless of whatever it is that you may not be ready to go through or that you may be ready to go through. Look, the point of this video was to show you that your story is attached to the things that you've been putting under the rug or putting in a garbage bag or just putting in places where you try and avoid it, you try and hide it. You don't want that piece. But that's the piece that makes you the most beautiful, because you survived it. Isn't that something? You survived, but you've been ashamed to share to other people. You survived it. So why are you ashamed? See, it's because what the world and what people put into your head to make you think one way about yourself. But see, self-doubt is a real thing. And sometimes it's an excuse to limit us. So for example, I'm about to get super vulnerable right now, right? So because if you knew the amount of things that I went through, and I went through those bags, look, this is just for show, right? I unravel and I unpack the different experiences in my life that I go through, because that's what makes me stronger, and that's what builds me into the woman that I am today, is the choice of what to do with those things. See, it's not about what you experienced, it's about what you do with that experience. And that is what distinguishes people who suppress just different things because they're not ready to deal with it. And then they're surprised when those different things pop up in different areas of their life. Perfect example. Somebody who might be grieving but doesn't want to acknowledge that they're grieving. And so instead, they don't grieve, right? But then they turn to substances like alcohol and drugs and even people. Let's be real. People can be a crutch as well that some people turn to avoid the real things that are happening on the inside. But see, I've always found that the people who take the time to heal through those experiences, they are more prepared when they face more challenges later on in life. And they're definitely more aware of what's impacting them. I had to breathe for a minute so that way I didn't just bust out crying, right? But the loss of my godmother, who I considered a mother, like my mother. I considered her to be more family to me than blood. And what I'll share about that is that all of those memories that I have of her just pouring so much into me as a person, there was a point in my life where I felt like just invincible. To be able to have somebody that just believes and supports in you just so much to the point when they die, you're left with all those memories, and it's just all about like what you do with it. And that's what I'm saying, like, this doesn't have to be like a linear story. This doesn't have to be something where you experience a certain setback or a certain challenge or a certain traumatic experience and then that just be the end of it. No, what I want you to understand is that when you put things in these bags and when you're not willing to go through them and acknowledge either the lessons that you learned or the lessons that you didn't, well, are you learning? Are you actually building yourself to be a better person? And sometimes it could be as simple as, hey man, Dr. Mirakal Jackson made a lot of points in this video. What thing may I be holding on to or not wanting to acknowledge or know that I have to get through this certain experience, but I'm not ready? And see, sometimes it could be as simple as just acknowledging, oh, hey, definitely have some things in my life that I need to reflect on and just figure out how that got me to where I am right now, how that got me to the person that I am today. And sometimes that's the hardest step. It's just acknowledging it. That's the first step of change, by the way, is acknowledgement. That you're not willing to see. You can't change something that you're not willing to acknowledge. That's just not how it works. So I want to help you all transform into better people and transform your lives into just the life that you want. I believe that you are your best self when you are clear, and you're your best self when you're confident in yourself and in your experiences. Some people go through things and then they pretend they didn't go through it. There are some people who are grieving that refuse to acknowledge that they're grieving. And so instead, just their life might look different. And I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. I'm just here to motivate you and encourage you to take that first step into being the best person, the best self that you can be, that you can build in order to have the life that you deserve. And I really enjoyed making this video because it's just a reminder of the reality of life itself. No matter what you look like, no matter what you go through, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you have the ability to be your best. Like, you really do. And look, it's all about perspective here on this channel. Here on Go and Grow, I want to help you envision the life that you deserve. It's as simple as that. All right, so what I want to say, and I'll stop this right here. Sometimes the messiest parts of our lives, sometimes the parts of our lives where we're a bit ashamed about it, and we don't want to acknowledge it. We don't want all that judgment from other people, right? But here's the thing, people are going to judge you regardless. They're going to judge you whether you go through this bag or you don't go through this bag. They're going to judge you whether you become your best self or you don't. They're going to judge you regardless, because that's what people do. Your story, even if it's attached to challenges, setbacks, experiences that you don't want to acknowledge or that you're not ready to acknowledge, that's okay, that's fine. As long as you know is that eventually you'll have to go through it. It just depends on where you are in life. When I was completing my dissertation research, I did life story interviews with hundreds of people. I met so many people of my research. There were so many memories and stories that were attached to when they were kids. Like, you gotta think, like 60 plus years, 50 plus years, 40 plus years. Do you know how much can happen in life throughout that time where you just may not realize that you're holding on to so much? So I challenge you, because you gotta give a call to action, right? I challenge you to take out a piece of paper, blank piece of paper. And I want you to write the different years of your life based off of the decade. So the decade of your age, your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. Hey, look, and if you're like 90 plus watching this, oh my gosh, I'm just kidding, y'all. There's never a time to stop growing in your life. The people who decide that they've grown enough in their lives are the people that stay the most stagnant when they get into that mindset. Okay. So what I'll say is that take that piece of paper, write down the different decades of wherever you are in your life. And if you're in your 20s, great. Take that time to go through that childhood early. And if you're in your 30s, go through the 20s, right? And then just so on, right? But the goal of this exercise is that on that paper, throughout each decade, and you can even do it by time span if you want. You don't want to think 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. Do it 2020s, 2010s, 2000s, right? 90s. The whole point is to reflect on that area of your life. What was one highlight between those years, right? And what was one memory that you haven't revisited in a while? Or better yet, what is one experience that changed your entire life course? Because when we think about those things and we're able to see it on paper, I call it a life map. That's what I did for my life. Lessons that I should have learned. And I'm really big on self-reflection because I know that life is going to continue to just go. Time is not going to stop. And I want my life to be documented from my perspective. Write down those different moments of your life. And then, because it's not just about writing it down, then when you get closer to the age of where you are right now, how old you are right now, today, as you're watching this video, think about one memory that you regret that you haven't made yet. So one thing that you want to do, right? And then think of one thing, one situation that you can change. So one situation that you can change. And ultimately, the whole point is just for you to reflect. That's the whole point of this call to action. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be something where it's just like, oh my gosh. But the older you are, the more that you will appreciate this exercise. Because you'll see within one paper, seeing your life on a piece of paper, on a map. This day I did a fun exercise, just really giving you a visual, just challenges, setbacks, things in our life that we always want to change, that we always want to say, oh, I wish I didn't have to go through this, or I wish I didn't have to go through that, or I wish this didn't happen. But the wish is not going to change the reality. Yes, you did that, it's done. But what is not done is you. See, you're still becoming everything that God called you to be because you're still alive, because you still have your heart beating, because you have potential. And see, the thing about potential is that you're in control of it based off of what you do with your story. So I understand that the different challenges that I'm going through in this season of my life, I want to uplift people who might be going through similar challenges or who might just enjoy just seeing just some motivation content, some life lesson content, just different ways to just make you think and see differently. Because that's what makes us all different, is we each come with a different perspective. And I don't want to change you. I'm not trying to do that. That's not my job. My job is to encourage you to instill that change in your life that you want to see. Because only you can determine what that looks like for you. So this ended up being a deeper episode than I anticipated, but this message can be. That's what I feel is helping me become a better person, a better self, to build the life that I deserve. So yeah, and make sure that you make that life map. Make sure that you take the time to just unpack the things in your life that you've had packed. Okay, and that's between you and God. That ain't got nothing to do with me. All right, so I am Dr. Mirakal Jackson. This is Go and Grow. Please make sure that you take care of yourself. Doctor's orders.